I don't know about you, but I could always count on that intro to get me just hyped up. I don't care what time of day it is, how late it is, because it's late right now, but I could always get hyped up from that intro.
Yeah, man, for sure. I feel like every time in the background, I don't know if you can see me, but I'm just like doing like random little movements sometimes.
I try to see you because I'm dancing myself in the back, so that's a lot of fun. But yeah, guys, we just finished with Monday Night Football. We had the Seattle Seahawks go up against the Saints. It was a close game.
Oh man, sometimes I just wish Russell Wilson would have never thrown that pass that he hurt his finger, but sometimes it happens. I'd rather it happen now than later in the season when we actually need the wins. So it's going to be tough for us to make playoffs if there's even a shot, but sometimes you just don't got it.
Yeah, it'd definitely be tough. It would be a lot different. It was weird because I was watching the first half I wasn't, but the second half I switched it to the Eli Manning show, and just so I could get like a different feel. And it was kind of weird because you see Russell Wilson on the sideline, and then in the fourth quarter, the Mannings they had Drew Brees in their commentary, and I was like, man, this game would be so different if those two guys were playing.
Right.
It's just it's incredible like how much of a difference a QB makes in these games. You know, I know it's a team sport, but I mean they play a huge part. Probably one of the most important roles out there. But yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
man,
cool.
for sure. Yeah, I just adding on that. Like, I know the last times we played the Saints, the scores have been a lot higher, even when we had a better defense. Uh, so yeah, quarterbacks definitely do make a big change. But I mean, all we had to do this game, man, was stop Kamara, and we didn't start doubling him until the start of the fourth quarter. Kind of made me mad.
Yeah, I mean it was a real ugly game. Like I said, it was gonna be like Sunday night, just raining, not as bad, but still, it was just a very wet field. Uh, I mean, you couldn't rely on the pass. You saw Jameis. I mean, Jameis was being Jameis, and
Overthrows, man, overthrows.
he overthrows, horrible decisions. Seattle didn't capitalize on that, but you know what? We can't control our teams. You know, it is what it is. They play, not us.
Yeah.
But let's talk fantasy. That's what we're here for. Welcome back to Lime Time with Vince and AJ. I mean, we're talking fantasy football. We're on Tuesday. Today's Tuesday for y'all, and we're doing it late at night, so you guys can have the best. What is it?
It's the
Best.
best chance in getting
Yeah.
your pickups.
Yeah, the best chance. I know there's a lot of fantasy shows out there. I noticed that when I was working out, and I was like, okay, I need to get some ideas, so I switched to a different podcast.
Mm.
And almost every day throughout the week, there's different fantasy shows. And these guys, I mean, the majority of them, they have a good idea and they know what they're talking about. But there's some of them where I'm like, really, you'll talk about that guy, or you'll be interested. But I like getting a different perspective from everyone else, just to see where we stand. You know, for the professionals out there. But I like our fantasy talk. I feel like we have very good stuff going on. But I do want to start off by saying the bye week for week 8, we have the Ravens and Raiders. Okay, so those are two top QBs that are going to be out. I know this whole league's demolished with QBs, so you're going to have Lamar Jackson out on buys, Derek Carr out on buys, Russell Wilson still out, Patrick Mahomes is questionable even though he cleared concussion protocol. Zach Wilson, I doubt anyone had him. He's injured. Um, they're saying now that Dak Prescott, they're saying he's hopeful, which
Yeah.
I'm convinced he's going to play. I wouldn't doubt it. And Sam Darnold, a lot of people are dropping him after the performance that he's done. So there's a lot of QBs that you people are searching out for. So let's start off with that. You got anyone in mind?
I just got one guy. I mean, I talked about him last week. Told you that or actually the past 2 weeks, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been balling out ever since he came off of those like kind of iffy games, but I mean he's been decent out all season. Um, it's Carson Wentz, bro. He had a good game against y'all. Uh, he could have had a better one if he would have got one more past Pittman. Kind of mad about that stuff, but yeah, man, this guy. I mean, out of all the games that he's played, he's only had one game that's been under 17 points. Everything else is above. His last 3 games, he's got 26, 20, and 20. And he's going against the Tennessee Titans. They don't have a good defense, but they can make some disruptions. But I still see him doing very well. And then, I mean, his matchups after that, the next 2 games, he's got the Jets and then the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, I mean, if you pick him up now, he's pretty good start for the next 3 weeks until he faces Buffalo in week 11.
I 100% agree. Yeah, Carson Wentz, he's there on my list as well. He's only on 24% of rosters, so more than likely he will be available in your league. So I think that's definitely a great pickup. He's just been catching fire lately. He's found that confidence, his old self of him again. But another guy, he's owning 43% of leagues, so he might not be available for you. But he just got off an injury 2 weeks ago. But ever since he got off, he's been on his game. Yeah, you're talking about Tua Tagovailoa. This guy, I mean, he's right after injury. He got 21 points, and then last week he got 26 points, which I picked him up because I listened to our own advice, unlike someone else that's here.
I listened to that advice too on one of the fantasies, and he gave me like 26 points, I think.
Yeah, he got 26 points last week, which helped me out, especially with the injured Russell Wilson. So yeah, he helped me out a lot. Also, like I said, he's only owned at 43%. Now, the downfall here is that they're going up against the Bills this upcoming week, and the Bills right now, they're fantasy wise, they're number one in defense. Okay. I mean, they're stopping people left and right. So you could be hesitant there, but after them, they should have a clean slate. So I brought up 2 quarterbacks, which one I'm not too sure of now after the game. But I'm talking about matchups, guys. Fantasy football, if you're struggling trying to pick up players, if you're in a huge man league, if you're in a competitive league, it's all about matchups and who you can get off the waiver wire. So, one, I got Geno Smith. Okay. I know he didn't have a great game today, but you got to remember it was bad weather. Okay. And the New Orleans defense, is nothing to laugh about. They're pretty darn good. Okay. So Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks, they're going up against Jacksonville. And I could see Geno passing the ball, getting the ball to DK a little bit more, getting the ball to Lockett, hopefully once or twice, but I could see him racking up points and getting at least one passing touchdown. So yeah, if you are really desperate for a quarterback, I'll say, roll the dice, pick him up. He's only owned in 1.5% of leagues. Another guy here, he's 50-50. He's always on or he's always off. Teddy Bridgewater.
Mm.
Okay. When he hits, he hits. When he's off, he's definitely off. But they're going up against Washington, a defense that's been a big disappointment this year. Okay. So the Broncos, they have something to prove. They need to get out there. They need to get the ball rolling again. Teddy, he needs to step it up, and he needs to step it up this upcoming week. So I can't guarantee it, but I can definitely see him getting a lot of points in that QB position against the Washington's defense.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think the Geno matchup there is pretty good. I know this game he had like 12, 13 points. This is not bad. I mean, I swear the Saints were covering up every single route after that first pass that we had for a touchdown. So their defense is really good. But I think he can make some noise against the Jaguars. I'm not too sure how much noise, but he's going to have a lot more guys open. And then, of course, I mean, every other quarterback you said there, I think the matchup is great. So I feel like every quarterback we listed right now is a pretty good pickup, especially if you're in a big man league like you are with that 14-man league.
Oh yeah. Yeah, trust me, guys. There's going to be a lot of QBs being taken this upcoming week. So grab them while you can. That's why we're releasing the video on Tuesday, so you could have the advantage in getting them on the waiver wire first. Next, do you want to talk about some running backs?
Sure, man. I only got a couple. It's getting pretty scarce out there now. Everybody's injured, so everybody's got that injured reserve slot open. Some people are coming off injured reserve, so people might be dropping some other running backs. But as of right now, I only got two. One guy, because of injury, he's going to have a big workload against this next upcoming team. He's on the Eagles, and they're facing the Detroit Lions. Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, on fantasy, it says this guy's going to have an amazing game. I mean, I think they're giving him about 17 to 19 points in projections. This past game, he had 14 points. And I mean, it was mostly passing. He's not their main running back to pound it in between the tackles. But I mean, this guy can catch the ball. I think he had a touchdown. Uh, but yeah, he's good. Whenever they're actually passing the ball to him, uh, he's really good. He's shifty, he's quick, and he's got some good cuts. So I think that guy's one guy to pick up. Another guy, I talked about him a few weeks ago. His name is Brandon Bolden, plays for the Patriots. I'm still hopeful on this guy. This past week, again, he was a pass catching back, and he scored 19.9 points. Of course, it was in like a romp game on who they played. They just killed the Jets. But this guy had 6 receptions, 79 yards, and a touchdown. And this next week, they're going up against LAC. So I see them also being behind in that game. And I think they're actually going to utilize him a little bit more, especially since I think their other guy, Stevenson, is out. Those are my two for right now.
Nice, nice. One of mine, I also had Kenneth Gainwell. They are going up against the Lions, so you know some points are going to be put up on that board. I know Miles Sanders is injured. He left the game last week, and I know some of the viewers right now are saying, oh, they project Miles Sanders to get 15, 16, 17 points every week. He never gets it. The Eagles are not a running team. But check this out, Gainwell, he only rushed. He only had 5 attempts in rushing. Vincent said it right. He did get a lot of targets. He got 8 targets. 8. That's more than half the receivers on that team. That's really good. Remember, if you're in a PPR league, that's 8 points right off the bat. So, and if he gets targeted in the red zone, if he scores, it's 8 plus. I mean, come on, you guys. That's going to be a good pickup. I can almost guarantee you that he's available. He's only owned in 14% of leagues. So go out there. If you have a lot of people injured, if you have people on bye weeks, it does not hurt. Go pick him up. Another guy that I have, his name is Elijah Mitchell. San Francisco 49ers. He tore it up last week. And I know, you said it was a raining game. All they could do is run. Yeah, but this is his first game back off of injury. He's that lead back now. He's going to be that power horse. He had 18 attempts. 18 attempts. Okay, we're going to be running the ball a lot, and he is that bell cow. Okay, we're going to be milking the heck out of him. So he's going to be running a lot. So he's only owned in 48% of leagues, so there's a 50% chance that he's available in your league. Pick him up, put it on your flex, and I can almost guarantee you won't be disappointed. They're going up against the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears, and they've been struggling. So yeah, put them in. You're going to get some points off of that. But those are my two running backs as well.
Cool, man. I just want to touch up on the Bears running game. I know right now they have what's his name? Starts with an H. I think it's like Hubert or Herbert, right?
Herbert, yeah, something like that.
So I know that he's gonna be their bell cow now, and I know those people that have Williams, who's pretty much taking the back end for him. I know it says he's projected to get 17 points. Do not believe that. He's not. He's not going to play that much because Herbert or whatever his name is, he plays for the Chicago Bears. He's going to be their main back. So I know it says that he's going to have only like 4 or 5 points of production. Don't listen to that. He's going to be their main guy. He's been going off. There's no way this Williams guy coming off of COVID reserve is going to outrank him, especially after the performances that he's been putting up. So just to go ahead and give you a little bit on start and sit him. But yeah.
Speaking of starting to sit him, there's a question out there. Should we start Dearness Johnson?
No. If Chubb is coming back, the talent level for that one is tipped. Like it's not even on the screen. Like this is Nick Chubb way up here, and yeah, it's no question. So if Chubb is healthy, you do not start that guy at all. He might go in like one or two plays where he actually gets the ball, but yeah, that one's a pretty easy one.
Yeah, Felton's probably going to be that guy that goes in and the third ground and pound, back. He's going to be that catching back. Dearness Johnson, he did really well, but yeah, the numbers are not going to be the same after that. They might put him down as that third back because he did catch a couple of passes. He did pretty well, but I wouldn't start him. I would have put that risk for your team.
No way.
No way, Jose. Going into wide receivers, you ready for some wide receiver talk?
Yeah, man, I got a couple on here. Some of them I've already talked about. Uh, I mean, I'll talk about him again since I've been talking about him for a long time already. His name is Khalif Raymond. He plays for the Lions. Even with a tough matchup this week against LA, he had 17.6 points. So I know I was kind of hesitant last week to say if you should put this guy in or not. But now he's going to go up against the Philadelphia Eagles, who also have a good defense. But I mean, he's been consistent, man. Every time that he plays, the past 5 weeks, besides the Week 5 game when he played against Minnesota, when they totally got demolished. I mean, he's got 12 points, 19 points, an outlier, and 9 points in Week 6 against the Bengals, and then this past week again, 17.6. I mean, this guy is double digits. I think he's only had one touchdown in that full span. So all of this is just catches and yardage in a PPR league. So I mean, this guy's good. I'd pick him up, honestly. I mean, I don't trust his quarterback that much, but I mean, this guy's been getting the yardage. They just can't capitalize inside the red zone. After that, we kind of talked about it on Monday's little cast, but basically, Green Bay Packers are without their best wide receiver.
Might be out.
Might be, according to Reed.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes these tests are wrong, but as of right now, since it says that he's out with COVID, Devontae Adams, that's who we're talking about. Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb are the guys to see who's going to get those touches. And I mean, right now, I think it's Alan Lazard because he's been kind of consistent these past like 2 weeks that he's played and actually got the ball. Against the Bears, he had 11.7 points, and this past week he had 17 against Washington. So, I mean, I know they're going up against Arizona, and Arizona's no joke, but they have Aaron Rodgers back there. Aaron Rodgers is good. He knows how to call coverages against the line. He knows where people are going to rush in from. So I think that he's going to rely a lot on Lazard because he's a great route runner, and he's got hands. So without Devontae Adams there, if he's not there, I think Alan Lazard is the guy to go with. Cobb is a pretty good second, but I think Alan Lazard will outperform him.
I'm gonna have to agree there. And what I really like about Lazard and the Green Bay Packers is that against the Bears, he had 2 red zone targets. So there's definitely some trust there between Aaron Rodgers and Lazard. So I'd like to see that against Arizona.
Yeah, man, that's even with Devontae Adams playing that game too. If you're
Yeah.
getting some red zone touches, even with the best, pretty much the best wide receiver in football right now, I mean, that's pretty good. But I also have one guy who I'm not 100% sure if he's going to play or not. I mean, I talked about him a couple weeks ago again. Kadarius Toney, he's out with an ankle injury.
Yeah.
He played just a little bit, but he still had. This guy has been having production like every time he's played since week 4. I mean, week 4 he had 13.9 points on 9 targets, 6 catches. When he played Dallas, he had 29.6 points on 13 targets and 10 catches. And the week that he only played 1 quarter against the Rams, 3 targets, 3 catches, 6.6 points, and only like half of the first quarter, I think. But right now, the New York Giants are hurt all across the board at the wide receiver position. So, I mean, if he comes back, I think he's a start, even though they're playing the Carolina Panthers. Oh, no, actually, they're playing Kansas City Chiefs. Sorry, my bad. I think he's a start, especially against that defense.
Yeah, that defense really hasn't proven anything this year. And last week, yeah, it's just been very disappointing. Kind of like Washington. Uh, well, I was going to mention Alan Lazard because of Devontae Adams more than likely missing a game. but you already did that for me, so I want to thank you so very much for that. I do have one guy who I wanted to mention last week, but I didn't because I felt like I already had enough wide receivers. But some people, I'm not going to say some people, one person actually came up to me and said, "Hey, I need help on fantasy. I tried looking for the guys you asked for. They're all
Mhm.
taken.
I
Who can
remember.
I pick up?" And so I was like, okay, so sure. Let me see. Let me see what you got. You know who's available, whatnot. It was in the 14-man league, and we came across someone that I really, really like, and I liked him a lot before, and it was going to be his first game back. I'm
I know
talking
who you're
about
talking about.
Russell Gage. Russell Gage from the Atlanta Falcons, guys. I like him a lot, okay, because the Atlanta Falcons they throw 80% of the time. They hardly run the ball. They throw 80% of the time. And yes, they had Calvin Ridley. And I know last week I said, yeah, invest into Calvin Ridley because he's going to do awesome. He's still going to do awesome. Okay. But remember, at that time, the whole season, the wide receiver two was a tight end. Okay. It was Kyle Pitts. They were using him as a wide receiver. Last week, Kyle Pitts was a tight end. He got to play that tight end position and he still blew up in points. While Russell Gage, wide receiver number two, first game back, he scored 17 points. So it was awesome. He only had six targets, and I do predict that will go up after the next couple of weeks. But it's just so awesome that there's a team out there. It might not be the best team or best looking team that is so committed to the pass that you could count on three players to get you points. Okay, I was so close in one of my leagues to having two tight ends in my lineup. Like one is my flex. I had Zack Ertz and I had not Logan Thomas. I also had Kyle Pitts. I mean, they both scored over 18 points. Uh, Jeez. They do really well. So yeah, that's Russell Gage for y'all. I already talked to my dad. I was talking to my dad before we started the show, and I was like, "Hey, this what you get for not listening to me. Look what up." And he picked him up on two of his leagues. But yeah, Russell Gage. He's not gonna. He's no Devontae Adams. He's no, CD Lamb, but he's gonna start having production. Okay, anywhere between 10 to 15 points, you could guarantee. So. That's my wide receiver. That's my blue chip player of the week.
There you
There you
go. Good job.
go.
Nah,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that one. I watched the game because I have Cordell Patterson, and he was doing good. He's a good route runner. Uh, just sometimes they can't capitalize, but I know he scored a touchdown, and it was a beautiful touchdown.
Oh yeah. He's
Not
a
gonna
good
lie.
receiver. He
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I remember him last year when he broke out. I picked him up, and he helped me win a couple games in fantasy. But
So
yeah,
I want to talk about a tight end now because I did mention Logan Thomas. I want to talk about tight end, and I'm going to talk first because I'm pretty sure you have this guy too, because I
for
believe you
sure.
talked about him last week. I'm talking about the tight end Ricky Seals Jones. That he's from the Washington football team. Offensively, they still put up points, a lot of production, especially Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry. They're going up against Denver, another disappointing defense that's been out there. Ricky Seals Jones, last week he had 7 targets. But what I really like about him, about the Washington, how they play, he had 4 red zone targets. 4. Okay. Now, I'm not going to say go out there and pick him up just yet because right now there's a lot of options for tight ends, like what you said last week, Uzoma, and I believe there's someone else. But I'm not going to say just don't don't pull the trigger just yet because Rivera just announced that Logan Thomas is day to day. Okay, so he's not guaranteed that he's going to play this upcoming week, but if he does, Ricky Seal Jones, he's a no go. Logan Thomas is way too much of a stud to have on the bench. But that just means go pick up Logan Thomas, okay? Because before he got injured, that guy was a point machine. So that's
Yeah,
my tight end.
I agree with you, man. I saw him on there, and I saw the news too, so I didn't put him on my list. But Ricky Seals Jones, I like the kid. He's doing super good. I believe the past 2 weeks he's been a pretty good, consistent tight end. So for those of you that picked him up, you did well. But yeah, Logan Thomas, I read that on the fantasy app too. I think they said week to week because they're not too sure if he's ready to come off injured reserve.
Yes,
Uh,
it is week to week. I
yeah,
apologize. I have it
no,
right here
yeah,
in my
you good.
notes.
But yeah, so it's week to week. So there's a possibility that Ricky Seals-Jones at least has maybe 1 or 2 more weeks, depending on how Logan Thomas actually recovers from that injury. Um, but yeah, I mean, no brainer if Logan Thomas is back. That guy's a start, and then Ricky Seals-Jones takes the back seat. But if not, Ricky Seals-Jones is still going to get a lot of production, like you said, red zone targets. That's key in any type of fantasy league that you're in. That's already 6 points if he catches a pass in the touchdown area. So, but one guy that I mean, I've talked about these guys a lot, and I'm kind of mad because their roster percentage is still super low. I don't know if you guys are listening to us or if just nobody's actually picking him up, but it's gonna be Molly Cox and Cj Uzoma again. These guys, Molly Cox is only in 9% of leagues. He just scored 11.5 points. The past 4 weeks, he's never scored lower than 8. He's got 19.2, 8, 9.8, and 11.5. And I mean, this guy has had 3 touchdowns in the past 4 weeks. So he's getting those red zone targets and he's actually capitalizing on them. So, like I said earlier, Carson Wentz is going to be a heck of a guy in the next 3 weeks. So get this guy too. That deal is pretty good. Cjo Zoma, this guy's going off too. I mean, it's insane what he's doing right now. He's back because last year when he played, he also had this type of production, and people are saying he's inconsistent, and that's not the deal. I mean, the past 4 weeks, it's 26.5. He did have that an inconsistency in that 1 week against Green Bay, 3.6. But after that, 10.5. And then this past week, 27.1 points on 2 touchdowns.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Should you be worried with Zoma since last week, a divisional game, he only got 3 targets?
Well, I wouldn't say that it's concerning because all those targets, or at least half of those targets. So I believe that in that Detroit game, he had 1 target in the red zone and it was a touchdown. And then the other 2 targets, well, it was just some little chippy down passes.
Mhm.
But after that, I mean, he capitalized in Baltimore. Baltimore is a decent defense. I mean, they have some porous areas there. But, I mean, in that game, too, he only had 3 receptions, but 2 of them were for touchdowns. So, I mean, this guy's a consistent red zone target. Um, I know they killed the Baltimore Ravens, but they're playing the Jets next, so they should do the exact same thing. Everybody's going to get some love. I mean, they're a passing machine over there in Cincinnati right now, so I say he's a start. And then the week after that, he plays against the Cleveland Browns. So it's going to be another divisional game. I think they do utilize him well there because I know that Jamar Chase is probably going to get double teamed, honestly, in that game. So I think there's going to be some guys that are open. But yeah, that's what I think. I don't know who else you got in the tight end. Nothing.
That's all I got. Like I said, there's so many tight ends out there
Yeah.
that I mean, this past week was National Tight Ends Day, and that's because a lot of tight ends were injured.
Yeah,
Because
man.
soon you're having your Gronk is coming back, I believe this upcoming week. Kittle's coming back in 2 weeks. No, actually, I think Kittle's coming back this week. Uh, so yeah, that's already 2 tight ends coming off that you should have, and then people like me who have um, Kyle Pitts and Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is only owned in 48% of leagues. Go pick him up. I could trade one of those guys, because there's so many tight ends out there that who needs that many tight ends? Jeez.
Yeah, man. I think in one of my leagues I have Zack Ertz, and then I have shoot, who is it? It's someone else that averages pretty. I think it's Noah Fant. So I
Oh
have
no, fine.
Noah Fant
Okay.
and Zack Ertz, and I mean in that league you can only have one tight end because you can't put it at flex. So like I could possibly try to seek a trade with Noah Fant because I have Zack Ertz and I think he's going to do well. But I mean, I might just keep him around. Who knows what happens? It's always good to have a backup. But yeah, man, there's a lot of tight ends. If I can have 2 tight ends in pretty much all of my leagues, and they're all getting above like 8 to 10 points. I think that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, especially this upcoming week on Thursday. If Devontae Adams is gone, Robert Tonyan. I mean, that guy, he's available. He's only taking 30% of leagues. So I mean, I find that kind of weird, but it is what it is. Not my league. That's why we're here to help you guys out. Um, you know what I like to talk about. I
Yeah,
like
bro, this is your segment right now.
I like to talk about defense, you guys. So, like I said about these QBs, it's all about matchups. And if you're like me, I know I say this every episode, but if you're like me, you switch out your defense every week, okay, for the best possible solution. And I know it doesn't always work out like that because the best matchups, those defenses are probably taken. And I've heard, hey, you only put up two defense last time. They were taken. I couldn't do anything. Okay. All right. I'll give you some more options here, okay? So I got four. I got four for you this week. One of them should be available. I know one for dang sure is available in like 80% of leagues, okay? So you should have them. But number one, which is probably not available, okay? I have the Rams. They're going up against the Houston Texans that just cannot produce it. They just got blown out, and now they're going up against the Rams with a nasty defense. I mean, they are nasty. They like to bully people around. I mean, they're going to give you more than 10 points. So, if the Rams, for some odd chance, are available, you pick them up. Next up, I got the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going up against the Jets. The Bengals, they gave the pow pow to the Baltimore Ravens, and that's because that's a scoring team right there. And now they're going up against the Jets with Zach Wilson out hurt, with my boy Mike White starting at QB, or they just got Joe Flacco. I know, but I think Mike White might be starting because Joe Flacco just got in. Um, oh yeah, that was breaking news. We didn't really break, huh?
Yeah,
Well, there
man.
you go, Joe Flacco.
Reed basically predicted that.
Yeah, he did. He did. He just predicted it. The show that we just did like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Or 2 hours. I don't know. But yeah, so I got the Bengals going up against the Jets. That they were available because I went ahead and tried to pick them up in my leagues, which is all waiver wires, not me getting a head start. Everyone has the same chance as I do. And then third, see, now we're starting to get a little challenging here, okay? And no, it's not because I'm a fan, but I got the 49ers going up against Chicago. Now, the 49ers defense isn't bad. They do play very well, and especially that front seven. I'm going up against a weak offensive line. Look at Justin Fields. He gets hit a lot. Now, with our strong front seven, I feel like we're going to get to a quarterback a lot, giving you a lot of points. You're going to see a couple of sacks there. So I think that should give you a good amount of points. I think they're projected to get 8 points. I see them getting more 7 points, which is still good for a defense. After that, I have the Buffalo Bills going up against Miami. The Buffalo Bills in fantasy, they're the number one ranked defense going up against a hurt Tua, hurt in the heart. Because the Dolphins are going up against or trying to get Deshaun Watson. I feel like he has a lot to prove and he might just overdo himself. But I still think he's going to get a good amount of points. That's why I still have him on my QB rankings. But the Bills, I just think that's the next best option for you defensively. So that's my top four defenses. Defenses win you fantasy games, not championships, but fantasy games. But there you go.
Oh, I want to ask you a question, AJ. So there's the Falcons defense pretty much on only 3.6% of rosters. They're going against Carolina. Lately, Carolina hasn't been doing well because, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with Sam Darnold, but he can't pass for the life of himself right now. Are they a viable team to pick up? And then my other question is the Washington football team a viable team to pick up against Denver?
Okay. Here we go. So you said the Atlanta Falcons going up against the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers, they did just bench Sam Darnold, but they already announced that they will be starting him the following week. I think so. Sam Darnold, he's not going to go off on him. Okay, I'll give you that. But I think what happened this past week is just enough of a spark for the Panthers to start to get things rolling. It's going to be a game. All right. It's going to be a close game, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be a defensive game. Sam Darnold's going to go out there doing everything in his power to prove that there's a reason why they're paying him that much. Okay. So I think the Atlanta Falcons, they're going to come out with, 4 or 5 points defensively, fantasy wise. So that's my answer there. Going on to the Washington football team against the Broncos, I feel like they go either way. I know towards the end of the Broncos game, um, oh, I'm sorry. We're talking about fantasy. I was going to talk about Von Miller getting a little banged up towards the end of the game. But as far as the Washington football team, they need to do something to stop the bleeding. They need some help, and this is their chance to do so against a hurting Broncos team. They're kind of in the same predicament here. Okay, offensively, the Broncos, it's all up to Teddy Bridgewater. Like I said, when he's on, he is on. But if he's off, I mean that's game over, dude. Game over. But me personally, I probably wouldn't trust in the Broncos defense just because I mean they're just I mean Washington's defense just because it's just too inconsistent. Chase Young hasn't been himself. I had some insider talk from a former uh, professional football player, Hall of Famer, nothing, uh, nothing too big. But he says that a lot of young players, lot of young stars, they go through these type of things where their first year they outshine themselves, and it just gets to them to the point where they're not focused on the sport, they're not focused on football, they're more focused on the attention they get and everything that's off the field. So that's the thing. I don't see Chase Young really performing to his fullest until next year when he realigns himself on what his priorities are. So no, I would not trust the Washington defense either because that as well is going to be a close game. It's going to be a low scoring game, but there I see you with 5 points in the Washington football team defense.
That's pretty good, man. I'm looking at their averages right now, what they score. Washington football team's averaging about like 6 points. Uh, they're pretty consistent in that. Even like against like teams like New Orleans and Kansas City, Green Bay for the past 3 games, it's been 5, 8, and 6. But I don't know, man. Who knows? Everybody has a bad week, and they're almost coming up on their bye week. So I think they're kind of letting up, kind of relaxing, hoping they can get to that bye week and regroup. But
Yeah. I mean, exactly. Who knows? This past week, I got asked off the camera for about 3 guys. I got asked about Uzoma. I got asked about the wide receiver position, Russell Gage, and I gave him my option. And Uzoma and Gage, they both excelled, but one person who I recommended didn't, and that was Chase Edmonds. And so you really don't know. Some of these guys can have a horrible game or they could just start going on their downfall. Of course, we're not perfect. We're only human, but we do our best. And so far, I mean, I believe we've been pretty accurate uh, as far as this season. So I'm pretty darn happy with what we got to talk about.
yeah, man, I agree. I think all the people we talk about, at least I'd say at least 75% of them, because we talk about a lot of different players.
Yes, we
Usually
do.
we're always correct on someone that's going to break out or someone that's going to actually get their touches that they need to give you some points to win. And I mean, that we've had some evidence. We've had some people here that come back and tell us, well, like, thank you guys for giving us those people to pick up because they helped me win my game in that week. And I mean, that's what we're here for, and we
Yeah,
love to do it.
that's right. We love it. We could talk about this all day long, all night long. But let's talk about Thursday night. We got Thursday night football. We got the Packers against the Cardinals. I need to erase my beautiful board just for proof. I had the Saints winning over here.
Yeah,
Um,
man, I already got you on
oh yeah. So now I'm
5-2.
5-2. Yeah. Okay. I'm
You
five
and
and
Reed.
two.
Yes,
Are you
sir,
sure
man.
Reed's with me there?
Yeah, man. He it was one of those weeks where um he was starting up his little new segment, and he didn't actually like say what team he wanted before. I think it was a week before, and
Yeah.
he didn't say. But I know who he was going to choose on that week, so I gave him the dub. I mean, we all chose the same team, so I was like, Reed's going to choose the same team.
So here I'm a little hesitant because for Thursday Night Football, I'm 7-0. I have not
Yeah,
been wrong, but this is a really good game. And the Cardinals, they have a really good defense and a really good offense.
yeah, man. I think JJ Watt just came out with the quote. He's like, everybody's making excuses for why we're not or why we're winning. He's like, how about you just admit that we're just effing good?
That's coming a lot from JJ Watt.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who to choose for this game, man. How about you go first? I think I know who you're going to pick.
I know who to choose, bro,
Yeah.
and it hurts me to do it, but with the news that we got from what's happening with the Packers right now, if Devontae Adams doesn't play, I don't think they get it done. So I got the Cardinals winning slightly over the Packers, 31-30. Uh, I believe it's going to be a higher scoring game, just because I mean Rodgers is pretty good at what he does. So even if I think Reed sent us a little snippet of the last time he played the Cardinals, and Rodgers had like some no-name wide receivers, and they came out and balled. But I just think they'll have a good game. But the Cardinals are just good, man. They have so many weapons. They have all these big names, and I think they're gonna get it done. And I hate to say it, but they're gonna go 8-0, in my opinion. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready to hear yours, man. I'm ready. I want to see what this perfect record has in store for itself.
So I just wanted to know one thing. I was going to choose a team, and then I thought about my perfect record, and I didn't want to risk that. I did want to risk it, and I don't think this team is that much better than the other. But as of right now, with these certain circumstances, they are. I'm not going to put any type of creativity to this one. I got the Cardinals beating the Green Bay Packers 34-27. I just think that I've seen Aaron Rodgers get frustrated, and he's going to be very frustrated in this game. It's just going to be him. He has no defense right now. He's doesn't have a defensive coordinator right now. Devontae Adams is gone right now. I mean, he's going to be very frustrated, especially with a good Cardinals defense. They're going to be pressuring his face all day, all night long. It is going to be gross. And the thing that I'm scared about, I mean, for the Packers, is that I don't know if the Packers defense could keep up with the Cardinals offense. They're like every time they go to the airport, they have to bring a license and registration because they're literally a weapon. They are a weapon. It's illegal. It's I've said enough. I've said too many nice things about the Cardinals. I got the Cardinals winning. I want Green Bay to win, but I got the Cardinals winning just for the sake of my record. I already erased that. Normally I keep it all week. I erased it.
It's okay, man. We got video proof on here, so it is
Yeah.
what it is. But we'll see. I mean, we chose the same team. I thought you were gonna choose the Packers, but I mean, you gotta face the music, man. There's so much going bad for the Packers, and even Reed said that everything right has to go for them to win. I just don't think everything does go right.
No. No, I do not. I don't believe that either. But yeah, guys, that's fantasy talk with Vincent and AJ, aka Lime Time, baby. But yeah, so let us know if we help you guys out because I mean we put in a lot of time, a lot of thought, a lot of stats into this. So let us know if this helps you out. And by the way, guys, we're almost at 100 subscribers. If you find the time, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Once we hit 100, we're doing a huge giveaway to give back to y'all to say thank you. But we appreciate every single one of you guys who are watching. Until next time, you guys, we'll see you on the waiver wire.